Welcome back to Naptime Sports Talk Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to our latest episode. Enjoy the show. Welcome back to Naptime Sports Talk Podcast. Today's episode, we're going to do a little bit of a wrap-up from the Chicago Bears game, and then we are going to go into some research that I have been doing just based on some certain data I just want to share, and I think it's kind of interesting to share that research that I've been conducting. And welcome back, DC, to the podcast. It's been a while, D. It's nice to have you back. I'm excited to have you back with us today. How you doing?
I'm doing really good, man. Yeah, sorry I haven't been on the last two episodes. It's just been crazy busy at work, and then on hunting came in along like that. So I've been busy the last 2 weeks, but now hunting's over with. I just have to get ready for ice fishing, but I'm back on the podcast, and I'm excited for coming back on.
Yeah, well, we're excited to have you back. It'd be nice to have a conversation with you regarding the Minnesota Vikings. So, well, let's get it started off. How does that sound?
Sounds good to me.
All right, yeah. So let's go right into the Chicago Bears game. So not the result we wanted, the 19-17 loss. Pretty tough game overall for our rookie quarterback there, continuing to see the inaccuracies or inaccurate passing. Guys dropping the ball too as well. We got to point that out to Addison. A couple big drops, Hawkinson, some drops. So there's some things going on too that, you can't just fully blame everything on JJ, but overall his performance was pretty porous. And later on this episode, we're going to talk some different research data I've been doing to kind of paint a different type of picture for him. So, he's only 5 games in still. Hopefully it gets better because, it was very frustrating to watch that game. All the opportunities that were missed. Guys are open. You just can't get the ball to them. Consistently throwing the ball over receivers' heads, underthrowing, or just throwing it up and into bad situations, which resulted in interceptions. So, just some bright spots to talk about because there was a lot of negative things in that game, and I like to try to be as positive as I can as pointing out the negative things as well. But Dallas Turner finally had himself a heck of a day, stepping into Jonathan Grenard's role, which he was out. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But yeah, Dallas Turner probably his best statistical game, and just overall during the game you could see flashes of what we've been looking for since he was drafted for us, and he is starting to come along a little bit. So he's still a young kid too. He's only 22 years old. So hopefully he can continue to develop and be what I thought he would have been or was going to be when we drafted him. So he ended the day of 7 tackles, 3 quarterback hits, 2 tackles for loss, a sack, and a pass defended. So last week he would have had a sack as well, but that was negated by the he put his body weight onto Lamar Jackson. So, which is it's a pretty ticky-tacky call in the NFL, but hey, like the rule is the rule, and you can thank Anthony Barr for that when you hit Aaron Rodgers and broke his collarbone. I like to call it the Rodgers rule and the Rodgers effect there. So, but yeah, overall game, it was nice to see the offense get rolling a little more in the run game. KLC going. They thought they ran the ball pretty effectively in that game. Mason had some nice carries. Jones had some nice carries. It was nice to see him go to the run game on those short down situations instead of just airing it out. And he just let those guys eat and let those guys do their best to carry the offense a little bit. Defense playing really well still. I think they did everything they could to keep us in that game. And at the end of the day, we did have an opportunity to win. Chicago just let us hang around there for a very long time. And unfortunately, that's just, they find, it always sucks to lose those close games like that. But also, if we would have won that game, we wouldn't be talking about the things that have to change, the things that have to improve upon on the football team. it's a lot harder to do that when you win games, and because you can say, "Well, we won. Well, we didn't do our best, but we won the game at the end of the day." You know what I mean? So it's a little easier to go about and fix those things for coaches. That is to really pinpoint those things with the players, and hopefully they can uh, they can make some adjustments. But yeah, it was a bummer. He McCarthy did have that nice drive at the end of the half. That's what, or not at the end of the half, end of the game. I'd like to see that more. More consistency from him. Those are the things we're looking for. How he attacked that last minute drive, and unfortunately, the special teams got out of their lanes a little bit on the kick return, and Devin Duvernay was able to return it back to about the 40-yard line on our side of the field and put them right in the field goal position to win the game at the end of the day. So I was bummed out when that happened, but overall, we didn't deserve to win that game the way we played. I think if we would have won that game, Chicago would have gave us two victories, just like the first game again this season. So, but I'm done talking about the game, DC. What are your thoughts? I know you were a little busy, but
So
overall, what
I
did you
watched a
think?
little bit before we went back out to our evening hunt. Um it just feels like um you can't really blame the offensive line in that game either because I think they were holding their blocks just fine, like really good. And it just feels like JJ uh has a really rough first half, then he picks up in the second half. If he uses his second half into his first, he can completely do a full game of having a good game. But like you said, he was overthrowing the receivers. He had that one overthrowing the Addison that um Addison should have caught, but it was a bad throw and everything. It just we cannot have that, especially when we have that talented receiving core we have, and the talented team we have. We just cannot count on our defense every single week to keep us in the game because they only can do so much and everything, and it's just it's it's hard to see it because it feels like it happens us every year. Besides last year with Sam Darnold having a really good season, then kind of fell apart in the end of the year. But uh, we just need that. They need to have a spark against the Packers. It's definitely against the Packers, and they have to do. JJ has to have a complete game this weekend because the Packers are no easy task or anything. Everything that defense is scary and everything, and we just have to have a really good game against Green Bay, and it's gonna be another tough division rival, all that stuff, and it just JJ needs to um just have his A game and no mistakes. Can't throw over the ball because he's gonna keep throwing interceptions. He's been throwing 2 interceptions every game for the all 5 games he's done this year. So it just he needs to be more accurate and everything. So
Yeah, for sure. And going back to the offense line, I feel like overall the offense line has been pretty solid since they've been having everyone back and healthy. It was nice for them to fix the false start issue, which we saw in the Baltimore game. I think we only had one false start this game, and overall that was nice to see that was addressed and fixed. But yeah, overall the offensive line has held up pretty good. They're giving him protection to throw the ball in these last few games, and he's just not making the throws, unfortunately. And still, it's hard to sit here and say that there's going to be growing pains, which is true. Technically speaking, last year he's out for the whole season. This year he misses a good amount of time, and I really feel like the time he has missed has really hindered his overall development so far into what he could potentially be. But then again, saying like I said this in season one when we were looking to draft our next quarterback. I always had McCarthy rated outside the first round just because he was in Michigan and one thing that I always noticed with him is he always hits that bullet pass. Didn't really have a lot of touch on his passes, and that's something that we're continuing to see. Tom Brady talks about that too in the game. If he would have just put a little more on it and let his receiver, instead of bulleting the pass in there and overthrowing, he probably would have had some more completions in this game. And I think that's the one thing that's very frustrating to me with just the overall state of our roster. I feel like this roster, top to bottom, is very talented. And overall, I said this at the beginning of the year, my biggest question mark was always the quarterback position. And this year, I feel like the quarterback position has extremely affected our outcome of our season so far. Being 4-6, you can still talk about other areas too that needing improvement, but overall, I think it comes back down to the quarterback position and really the inability to complete passes and to hit the open receivers. And it's also kind of funny that going back to McCarthy when he was at Michigan, he was in a very run-heavy offense, and I think they always wanted to have the quarterback that they were not able to go get, and I think they always wanted Drake May. I always wanted Drake May myself. I think that was the dream. We had to go with McCarthy because that's who was there is between him and Bo Nix. And even if you think about Bo Nix, like I'm going to go around and talk about this in a little bit, but at the time we took a quarterback who was a young kid, hasn't thrown the ball a lot in college. I think age was a factor why they decided to take McCarthy instead of Bo Nix. But it's kind of funny to me that he was in a run-heavy offense at Michigan. He didn't throw the ball a whole lot every game. I'd be curious to go see like what his highest pass attempts was during his career at Michigan. That would be a fun kind of stat to go look at. But we had to pick between McCarthy and Nix, and we went with the kid that didn't throw the ball in college, where we could have picked a kid who threw the ball a lot in college, and that was Bo Nix. And now I'm going to say, like, at the time of the draft and leading up to the draft, I had some concerns with Bo Nix regarding his accuracy. I also had the same concerns with JJ McCarthy, right? I was probably a little lower on Bo Nix in comparison to JJ McCarthy because a big thing to me was the age, right? Nix is 26 years old right now. But overall, like, you go back to that, and I wonder if they wish they would have took the kid that had a lot more experience throwing the ball in college for an offense that is pretty pass heavy and pass, who they like. KOC likes to throw the football. It's not
I totally
it's
agree
pretty
with
out
you.
there that he likes to throw the football.
I just wish, because Bo Nix is more like a pocket passer than anything. Like, he really doesn't run the ball. And like, I was really surprised that Vikings actually drafted JJ McCartney besides Bo Nix, because Vikings are always a pocket passer team. Because all the quarterbacks we had were pretty much pocket passers, all that stuff besides Dobbs. But yeah, he had 2 or 3 good games with us a couple years ago. But yeah, it's hard to see him, JJ, playing right now. It's just like, I want to say he could be our guy, but I just don't know yet. It just, what you think? Okay, so if JJ did not get hurt last year, he played a full season, and they went 14, because they went 14-3 last year, right?
I don't think we go 14-3 to JJ McCarthy as a quarterback last year. I don't. But
I'm saying, like, if we had the same record as last year, and JJ brought us to 14-3 last year, and now he went, you think he will have a better year his second year as starting quarterback? or what?
I think that it's hard to say that
Mhm.
because we've seen what he is through 5 games, and it's been pretty rough. And we're gonna talk about that. But my biggest thing with McCarthy is I don't think we would be 14-3. I don't think that's on the table at that point.
No, no.
He's not a better quarterback than Sam Darnold right now. He's not. And that's just the way it is. Like we took the chance on the rookie quarterback because it
Mhm.
gives us flexibility in cap, right? To build a roster and to attack the concerns that we had on the trenches and the defensive line, offensive line. Now, we did do that. It has worked pretty well. Besides maybe the defensive line, you could say like I feel like they have stepped up the last few games with the rushing attack. But if you are gonna say that, or going back to my point, is at the end of the day, I think we took the rookie quarterback because it gave us more cap flexibility than anything. And at the time, we were either between McCarthy and Nix. KOC and them liked what they saw better. They thought they could develop McCarthy more. But yes, I do think that the development missing last year and then the games this year has hindered his development. There's no doubt about that. Um, but I also don't think we would be in 13-3 last year if he was a starting quarterback. I don't. Now with what he's shown this year, and also I just kind of go back to Bo Nix. Bo Nix actually has a decent rushing attack. He's not terrible in that. He's got some mobility there. Last year he did have 430 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns, and then he had so far this year, he has 50 carries for 213 yards and 3 touchdowns. So Bo Nix does have mobility. I do want to point that out. But again, if you're comparing Nix and McCarthy, Nix had way more pass attempts in college and had a lot more experience in college throwing the football than McCarthy did when he came out at Michigan. So, but yeah, it is what it is. It stinks, but that's his situation. Like if you I get it completely. Everyone wants to, and I was always on the same boat too. It makes sense at the end of the day, but when you miss the quarterback, it sets your franchise back for years. Now I'm not saying that I'm gonna write him off right now. It's not fair. It's only been 5 games, right? I want to see what he can do the rest of this season, good and bad. I just want to see more flashes. I want to see that completion percentage increase. And hopefully we can, at the end of the year, hopefully we can sit here and say he's done some nice things
Mhm.
at the end of the season, these last 7 games or so, I think it is. I just want to see a little more from him. But so far, I would understand if you're saying that, you're completely fed up with him. And he was booed a lot last game. Like, the fans are seeing it. They're frustrated. The expectations were always this year to make the playoffs. You picked them as a NFC North division winner. I have no other people pick them as NFC North division winner too. They're not meeting the expectations of what we thought this football team could be. And it's disappointing. It's very disappointing. And we deserve better than that. We've been waiting for a Super Bowl for
Yeah.
the whole time the Vikings have ever been around. And I understand people's frustration and how we can sit there and it's hard to be patient with a kid, for sure. And the thing that frustrates me, DC, is the last few games, I feel like he's regressed more so than he's improved. And that's the frustrating part for me. Because with
Mhm.
growing pains, there's a key word in there is grow, right? He hasn't shown any growth. There hasn't been growth. There's been zero growth. And it's concerning. It's frustrating. And I just hope that
Mhm.
I love KOC as a quarterback, or not as a quarterback, as a head coach. And
Yeah.
you miss on that quarterback, like what are the Wilfs gonna do? You know, I just worry that he doesn't get another shot if it goes downhill. I hope we don't do that because we have seen what his offense can be, and I hopefully they're smart
Because
like that and give him another
this
shot if
rookie class
JJ's
for
not the
quarterbacks,
guy.
yeah, there's gonna be some
So,
solid
but
quarterbacks coming in, but it's not gonna be strong than last year's quarterback.
no, you have like your top guys right now. Fernando Mendoza out of Indiana, Ty Simpson out of Alabama. He's only had 1 year of starting though. You know, Dante Moore would be above him if he decides to come out. That's a big question right now. Is he might not come out. He might stay 1 more year. If he stays another year, that's great. Because it gives us the rest of the season, next season. If McCarthy doesn't pan out, we're probably picking pretty high. In the next year's class, you have guys come out like Julian Sain out of Ohio State, Mord coming out of Oregon if he stayed. Trying to think, there's a couple more guys too. I'm just blanking on right now. Like Manning if he comes out,
like Langley,
next year.
Langley from Florida.
Yeah, but Legway, he's not gonna.
Yeah.
He was a freshman last year.
Oh, he's a sophomore this year, right?
Yeah, he was a sophomore this year, but I don't think he would. He wouldn't. I'm not. He has not been that great. I wouldn't consider him the top quarterback. CJ Carr for the Irish, he's been really solid. But overall, Julian Sain, quarterback from Ohio State, Arch Manning, Dylan Raiola. Those are just some names. Trying to think who else there is. There's more than just those guys. There's next year's class is looking a little more deep at the quarterback position than this year. I'll say that for sure. So, anything else you'd like to add?
No, I think you nailed it. Like you said, we just have to see what he does for the rest of the year, and then they have to decide in the off season what they're gonna do, all that stuff, and it just hope he steps up and finish the year out, and hopefully we can finish above 500. I'd be happy a game above 500 or just 500, all that stuff. But there's no way that.
I mean, I'm in the ballpark. Like, if we're gonna lose the playoffs, let's lose. Like, we're not gonna make playoffs. Let's get a top 10 pick. Let's get Jeremiah Love, man. Like, I would love to get Jeremiah Love. He is one of the best running backs I've seen in a very long time. And Genty, fantastic player too. I would rank, my opinion. You can say I'm a little biased because I'm a big Notre Dame fan, but I think that Love is more a better back than Ashton Genty, in my opinion. But yeah, I think he's right there. He's a very elite running back. He might be the best football player in this draft. He's definitely in my top 3. So, okay. So I just want to go into my my research. So what I've been doing is I've just been kind of studying completion percentage. And what I did is I looked into the completion percentage of the quarterbacks in the same draft class who went in the first round for the same round as McCarthy, with Williams, Daniels, May, Penix, and Bo Nix. And I compared what their completion percentages were through their first 5 games of their careers, just to kind of paint a little picture there. But first, I want to start off saying that the completion percentages that I looked at do not account for drop passes by pass catchers that should have been caught. I want to say that first off. Now, it's not like it's a whole lot of drop passes, right? You can say there's been some bad ones, and I'm sure there's been, that's a part of football. Guys are going to drop the football. But so going into Caleb Williams through his first 5 games of his NFL career, he had a completion percentage of 63.38%. He finished in that span, he had a 5-to-5 ratio, so he had 5 touchdown passes and 5 interceptions. He finished the year off with 20 touchdown passes and 6 interceptions, so he really improved those statistics through the rest of the season, especially interceptions, which is great. Year 1 completion percentage was 62.5. So far through the first 10 games that he's played in this year, he's completing 59.7% of his passes. He has 13 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. Okay. That, like, again, that doesn't account for drop passes. The Chicago has not been as reliable to Williams as they could be. Looking at Jaden Daniels, through his first 5 games of his NFL career, he completed 76.82% of his passes. Year 1, he finished with 69% completion percentage. Year 2, he played 6 games and unfortunately left with injury. He completed 62.5. If you want to be very mathematical here, D, it'd be 62 and 5/10. Okay. But I'm not going to go into that stuff. I teach that stuff at school. I'm just going to say 62.5. Okay. He had a ratio of 8 touchdown passes and 2 interceptions in those 6 games that he played this year. Drake May, through his first 5 games, he had a 67.32 completion percentage, 9 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. In year 1, he finished his rookie year with 66.6 completion percentage. Year 2, he's sitting at 71.9% through 11 games, and his ratio for touchdowns to interceptions is 20-5. He has 20 touchdowns and 5 interceptions, so he's having a great year. He could win MVP, honestly, with the way the Patriots are played and the way he's playing. We're going to Michael Penix. Year 1, he only played 5 games. There you go. His completion percentage was 58.1. He was 3 of 3 ratio, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Year 2, he played 9 games, and unfortunately, sounds like Michael Penix is going to be done for the year 2 with a knee injury. So Kirko will be leading Atlanta for the rest of the season. I don't think that's been confirmed fully yet, but it doesn't sound good. He improved in his completion percentage by a couple percent. He's at 60.1 through the 9 games with a 9-3 touchdown to interception ratio. Okay. Bo Nix, first 5 games of his NFL career, 61.36%, a 3-4 ratio. So he did not do so hot in his first 5 games of his NFL career. Year 1, he finished the season with a 66.3 completion percentage, 29 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. So he really improved as the season progressed. And he played 17 games. Year 2, he played 11 games. He has a 61.2 completion percentage, an 18-8 touchdown to interception ratio. So he's having a pretty solid year. Now, I'm going to go to McCarthy. Through J.J. McCarthy's first 5 games, he has a 52.9 completion percentage, 6 touchdowns to 8 interception ratio. The NFL average for quarterbacks this season, and statistically over the past 10 years, it said, is 65%. He's not even close to low average. He's below average. Or not below, like he's very, very low average right now to what he should be at. And honestly, you want to be exceeding that 65%, but the average in the NFL is at 65%. Okay. Now here's the kicker, DC. So JJ is 12.1% below average. Sam Darnold is the second best quarterback in the NFL right now for completion percentage with a 70.2 completion percentage. Daniel Jones is third right now in the NFL with 69.9 58% completion percentage. Now, completion percentage does not paint the whole picture, but it shows accuracy, and JJ is not an accurate quarterback as it's shown over the play. I
Yeah.
really need to see that number jump. Elite, so it says elite quarterbacks. I looked this up. Elite quarterbacks generally exceed 65 or at 65% or above, while the average quarterback falls between 55% and 65 or 64, you could say. Okay. Now, hold on. Out of all the quarterbacks in the NFL, where do you think JJ sits right now?
Dead last.
JJ is dead last. He is dead last in completion percentage. And it's not even close, honestly. Well, I mean, it's not where he's sitting with the quarterbacks. It's not good. I'm just gonna say that right now. So, yeah, those are the statistics. That's the research. Okay, now I want to say this before we move on. I want to talk about a guy, because I'm gonna say that completion percentage doesn't always paint a picture. It does paint the picture of accuracy issues, right? And we've seen that in the first 5 games. It's clear as day. No one's going to say I'm a liar about that, right? Okay. Josh Allen struggled as well in his first year as NFL quarterback. Okay. In his first year as NFL quarterback, he had a completion percentage of 52.8. Pretty close to JJ, right? Okay. JJ was, let's see, JJ was again 52.9. So yeah, 1/10 off. Very similar. Holy cow, that's crazy. Year 2, he improved up to 58.8, and he's been improving more and more as he's progressed. Okay, so I'm not gonna say that McCarthy can't get his accuracy up, because guys have done it. Josh Allen really struggled his first few years with accuracy issues. I don't know what JJ has to do, but he should figure out what the
Yeah.
Josh Allen did, because he obviously did something with his mechanics that helped increase his accuracy. And now Josh Allen's a little different a quarterback, a lot bigger of a dude, but it doesn't matter. Accuracy is accuracy, right? So I just thought that was very interesting.
Yeah, I heard something about that with Josh Allen for his first 2 years of his career.
Yeah, I think I told you
Yeah.
that. I texted you that during the game. But
Like we said, he needs to figure something out. Everything, and he needs to get to his playmakers. I don't, because Jefferson, he maybe had like maybe 1 or 2 games more than 100 yards, and the rest of it's been all stuff. And
I don't think he's had any games with
yeah,
JJ over 100. I'm not sure. I think it was with Wentz,
just,
maybe.
we know that he can zip the ball out and like that, but his accuracy just needs to improve every single throw,
Really
all that stuff. And we can't count on the running game every single game, all that stuff.
No, he can't be a one-trick
just,
pony in the NFL. You really can't.
He needs to figure something out like really quick, because if not, I don't want to say he might be a Ponder 2.0. I don't hope he prove us wrong, but I don't want him to be there.
The one thing I'd say with Ponder is he never really flashed. At least McCarthy shows flashes, but still, it's concerning. It really is. So now it's only been 5 games, so hopefully he can improve on that. And at the end of the day, I want it to be JJ. I don't want us to have to go and try to go find another quarterback. I want it to be this kid. He's a likable kid. He seems like a good dude. He's easy to root for. But just what he's been showing right now is not an NFL caliber quarterback.
Yeah.
So But well, we can move on from that doom and gloom talk, but I guess not doom and gloom. It's just the facts.
Yeah.
You know, we're just stating facts. That's the truth. So it's good to look at the facts. Sometimes, you know, facts say more than opinion. You know, the facts are the facts. So, but moving on to the next segment. So we're gonna finish off with our pick six, and then just end of the season. Big D, we're just gonna predict what we think the record's gonna finish out as.
All
Okay,
right.
then we'll be done. I know this podcast running a little long. We had a lot to talk about, but I'm gonna regret it when I gotta edit more. So if this comes out in 2 weeks, that's why. No, I'm just joking. All right, so pick six. So last week, Big D and I have been still doing the picks so far. I'm leading at 28 correct and 14 incorrect. Big D's at 23 correct and 19 incorrect. Last week I went 5-1. DC went 3-3. I did get the Broncos over the Chiefs as the upset, so that was cool. I was happy about that.
It's probably my best week all year.
No, you went 3-3. I went 5-1.
Yeah, that's probably my best week I did probably all year.
Oh no, the week 10 you went 5-1, big dog.
Really?
Yeah. So
Hey,
and also Big D. Before we get started, earlier in this podcast you were talking crap about beating me in fantasy football, but I think I beat you a couple times since then, big dog. So
dude, I've been playing like crap. This week I went 0-3 in.
Yeah, it's been rough
like
for me too, honestly.
And I'm more concentrating on our money league, and I'm like, I think I'm at like ranked 5th. If I lose any more games, I'm gonna be all in the top 6, and I don't want that.
I know we're right there, like neck and neck, pretty much, dude. Like my teams though are like a walking hospital. They're just freaking hurt every single. Like I lose someone every week, honestly.
Yeah.
Every week I lose someone. In one of my leagues, dude, I lost like my top 3-4 picks that had my draft. It's like I couldn't come back from that. There's no way. So,
and like all my losses I have got like the last couple weeks, they've been blowouts. Like I've been losing by like 30 or 40 points. It's like, oh my goodness.
Like, yeah, I don't think I'm going to be winning any leagues this year. That's for sure.
I'm telling myself, I'm like, why do I even do this to myself? Like, why do I do this every year? But it's just so much fun.
Well, for sure. You just got to keep going. Like,
yeah,
you're going to have your good years, you're going to have your bad years for sure. This is my year to have all these injuries. That's for sure. So,
yeah.
You go look at a couple of my rosters. I have like all my guys are on IR basically, or not all of them, but I have all my IR spots filled up with guys on injury reserve. So that's never been an occurring thing in the past. But yeah, so we're gonna move on to our pick six. So my first game. So remember, our pick six is we do 5 guaranteed wins that we think, and then 1 upset for the week. So my first pick is I'm gonna be picking the Bills over the Houston Texans as a win there. What do you think on what's your first one?
All right. For the first one, I'm gonna do the rival. I'm gonna do Vikings Packers. I hate saying this, but I got Packers over the Vikings.
Okay, yeah, I think I picked them too, and not the pick six, but in my weekly pick'ems, yeah. My next one is I have the Pats over the Cincinnati Bengals. I think the Pats are gonna improve to, I think 10-2. I think they're 9-2 right now.
Yeah, yes, they are.
Who do you got for your second one?
My second one, I got the Seahawks over the Titans.
Okay, take an easy one, eh? See if Darnold throws 4 interceptions again or 3 interceptions, whatever it was. He struggled last game. My next one, I got Ravens over the Jets. I think that's a guaranteed one. Jets are abysmal.
Yeah, from this one, I think this is actually gonna be I think this game's gonna be a banger.
Okay.
I got Colts over the Chiefs.
Colts over the Chiefs. Ooh, I'd love that, dude. I want to see the Chiefs miss out on the playoffs so bad.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, my next one, I got the Lions over the Giants. What do you got next?
All right. So I'm gonna go. Sorry, Zach, but I got Browns over the Raiders.
All right, the Browns over the
And
Raiders.
I'm just looking for that Ravens versus Jets. They're replacing Justin Fields with Tyrone Taylor.
Oh, are they really?
Yeah.
That sucks. Yeah, Fields is Fields, man. That's too bad. My next one, I got the Eagles over the Cowboys.
Um, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Falcons over the Saints.
The Falcons over the Saints. All right. So for my upset pick of the week, I'm gonna have the Bucks over the Rams. The Rams are at home. I think they're like a 7-point favorite right now. So yeah, that's a we'll see if it happens, but yeah, the Bucks over the Rams, that's gonna be my upset.
Um. Oof. All right. Um. This is gonna be my upset. I got the Panthers over the 49ers.
I almost picked that one. That'd be sweet, dude. I'm rooting for the Panthers. I want to see them do well. Them do well.
Freaking,
It's been nice seeing Bryce Young bounce back.
freaking his performance last game. Oof. Like
Hey,
four.
that's another thing. But also, Bryce Young was a lot better quarterback in college,
Yeah.
honestly. So,
Yeah.
but
Like 400.
yeah, I'm happy that he's doing well.
440 yards passing last week. Oof.
Yeah, he's been solid for sure, for sure. All right, so that wraps up our pick 6. We're gonna move on to our next thing. We're gonna talk about the Vikings' remaining schedule. We're gonna predict the record here for the rest of the season. So you already said you're gonna predict the Vikes to lose versus Green Bay.
Yeah.
So you're gonna have them drop to 4-7. I'm gonna do the same thing. I think they're gonna lose to Green Bay too, unfortunately. Be 4-7. Then next game is versus Seattle Seahawks out there. I'm gonna have the Vikes probably drop that one to
Yeah.
4-8.
Yeah. Me
What do you
too.
think on that one?
Yeah.
Okay. Next game versus the Commanders at home. I think we're gonna get a win there. We're gonna move to 5-8.
Yeah.
Moving on, we play the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. I think we're going to drop that game and move the 5-9 or 5-9.
Um. Man. Yeah, I'm gonna pick a loss on that one too.
Okay. The week after that, we go to New York or East Rutherford to play the New York Giants. I think we're going to end up winning that game to move the 6-9.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's gonna be a good game if Jackson Dart comes back and plays.
Yeah, for sure,
I
for sure. That's another thing too is he's been solid this year. He's been really
I
solid.
I really like Jackson Dart. I really do.
Yeah, he's good. He's gonna be good, I think. It's nice to see the Giants find their quarterback after Eli Manning. It's been a long time coming. That's for
They just
sure.
need to protect him more.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Then we got the Lions. I'm gonna think the Lions are gonna
Yeah.
beat us on that one. I think we move the 6-10. What do you think,
Yeah, I'm gonna go
DC?
6-10.
Okay. And then we finish off the year with the Green Bay Packers. I think we're gonna drop that one too. I think we go 6-11. The final. That's our final season final record is 6-11. That's what I'm gonna predict.
See, I'm gonna. I think they're gonna split with Green Bay. So I'm gonna
Okay.
pick a win. They're gonna get the home. They're gonna get the final home game as a win.
Okay. So you got them going 7-10
Yep.
then. Yeah, like I said at the end of the day, I just hope we can if we're gonna miss the playoffs, it'd be nice to just miss the playoffs and get a top 10
Mhm.
pick. To get a guy like Jeremiah Love, I don't think he's gonna get out of the top 10. And I don't know if he gets by a certain teams there either. Like we'll see what happens, but Right now, I think we're sitting at 12. Pick 12 is what we're at right now. So we'll see how the rest of the season goes. But yeah, I know, it sucks where we're at right now. This is a part of fandom. Like, we have our good years, we have our bad years. I hope there's better days coming for us, and that we can find a little bit of light in this darkness of this season. It's been a tough year. I know my mental state is a lot better when the Vikes are winning. At the end of the day, it's a game, but still, it's
Yeah.
hard,
Oh yeah.
right? In the grand scheme of things of a life, like it is a football game, but it is nice to see your team win and
Oh
do
yeah.
well.
Yeah, for sure. It's some days it's tough to be a Minnesota sports team fan, but you get those days that like everybody wins. Like you get the T Wolves win, the Wild win, the Vikings win. Then it makes the next day so much better. It's just
For
it's
sure, for sure.
yeah. There was a lot so far this season. There's a lot to cheer about, and there's a lot of things that you want to throw at your TV, all that stuff. But it's just we're fans. They're professionals. Like everyone makes mistakes, but you can't do mistakes like
Yeah,
that all the time.
yeah, and you know that McCarthy too. Like he's pretty he's pretty black and white. He says it is how it is. He said he sucked last game, and hopefully he's doing all right too as a young kid. He's not going to get too in
Mm-hmm.
his head. And people can be very
Like,
mean. So like I don't think we get to take it that far as some people take it. At the end of the day, like they're human beings too. They're not. You know what I mean? Like some people just kind of take that human factor out of it and just say whatever they want. And at the end of the day, he's a 22-year-old kid. Like we can still be
oh
kind in
yeah,
this world, no matter if your quarterback on your team's not
and we
doing
know
well.
that we know it. He
So
has a dog in him and all that stuff because you can see in his face. You can see him. Yeah, he had some this year. Some in his 5 games, he did some good plays and all that stuff, and there was potential and all that stuff. He needs to keep his heads up and just make better plays and just ignore
for
the
sure.
outside noise and just go to work every single day to get better and everything. So like, his team's not giving up on him. The culture's not giving up on him and everything. They know that he has the potential in him, all that stuff. They're trying to make him better.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully he improves the rest of this season and shows some better days in him. And
Oh yeah, yeah,
I'm rooting
oh
for
yeah,
him. I want him to do well. I think we all want him to do
yeah.
well. We don't want him to be a bust or nothing like that. So, but all right. Well, Big DC, it was nice having you back on the podcast. It's a lot easier to do the podcast when it's someone to chat back and forth
Mm.
with. It makes it difficult to do it on my own. I think I do usually a pretty good job at them, but it is nice to have a conversation with someone and don't feel
Yeah,
like I'm just
and it's
talking
like
to
the
my computer
last two
screen.
weeks when you did
So
them by your solo. When I listened to them, I'm like, all right, is it my turn to talk? I'm like, oh, I'm just listening. We're not doing the podcast together. I'm like, all right, I'm just listening to this one.
that's funny. That's funny. Well, that's awesome. Well, yeah, I don't know if we'll see if we can do one this next week too. We got Thanksgiving coming up. I'm going to be out of town going down to my in-laws. So that will be exciting, but we'll see what we can do, DC, to get another one rolling. And I just want to say, like, if you made it this far, we really appreciate you listening. At the end of the day, I know we don't know everything about football. I feel like we're very well knowledgeable about football. I'm not going to sit here and think, I'm a know-it-all by any means. I just love talking about sports. I love talking about the Minnesota Vikings. I do think I know a lot of things about football. But yeah, I just really, really appreciate you listening. It means a lot to us to hear us out and just be supportive of our podcast. We put a lot of work into this, and it's nice to see and get feedback too from people. So, but yeah, DC, I hope you have a great week, brother.
Yeah, you
Hope
too, man.
everyone else listening has a great week, and We'll catch you next time. Big D, close it out, big dog.
Skull Vikes.
Straight cash, homie. Thank you for listening to our episode. Be sure to give us a follow on Instagram and X at Naptime Sports Talk Podcast for content related to the pod. Thank you for the support.